What's up YouTube? Silver Dragons here, and in this video I want to share with you 5 of the biggest silver stacking mistakes that you need to be avoiding, so let's get into it. Did you know SD Bullion is giving away a monster box of 2023 Silver Eagles? Sign up today at sdbullion.com/sweepstakes. Thank you so much for watching. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you want to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, stick around for the end of the video if you want to check out this new silver rune from Germania Mint. Okay, so what are the mistakes we need to avoid when it comes to buying physical silver? Now, number 1 is going to be panic buying. I want to make something very clear. Silver is a long-term strategy. This is not something where you get in real quick, get out real quick. So it's not that imperative that you stack all of the silver you need today. In fact, my strategy is to buy silver over a period of time. It's called dollar cost averaging, and I've been doing it over the last 5 years. So there's no reason to panic buy. It's not like all the silver is going to be gone tomorrow and you need to put your life savings into it today, or it will be too late. Now, I know there are some videos out there on the internet that claim, look, silver's price is going to jump up tomorrow, but the reality is no one knows when this is going to happen. So I would say don't overextend yourself. Only buy what you can afford. Set aside some money, budget for your silver stacking. Maybe you pick up a little bit every paycheck. Maybe you have some savings in the bank, which you're going to slowly convert into silver a little bit at a time. That seems like a sound strategy to me, but don't panic buy and don't overextend yourself. Always have a little bit of cash on hand for emergencies, so you won't need to sell your silver if something comes up and potentially lose money because you had to sell it too soon. Mistake number 2 is paying fees when you buy your silver. Now, some fees could include sales tax, perhaps shipping fees or credit card fees, but at the end of the day, you can avoid paying all of these. Now, you need to understand that sales tax varies state to state, and based on which state you're in, you may or may not have to pay sales tax, or there may be a threshold to where if you purchase above a certain amount, you won't need to pay sales tax. For example, here we are at sdbullion.com, and I'll put a link to this in the description with all of the states and the rules for tax in each state. But if we look at California, they do not charge sales tax if you purchase more than $2,000 worth of gold or silver at one single point in time. So if you simply only spend $2,000 or more, you will never have to pay sales tax on your silver if you live in California. Now, I'm not going to go over any other ways to avoid tax, but if you live next to a state that doesn't charge it, well, you could theoretically drive into that state, pay cash, but we're not going to go there. Let's talk about shipping. If you buy online, you may have to pay shipping. However, at SD Bullion, if you spend more than $199 at once, you get free shipping. So that's an easy way to avoid that. When it comes to credit card fees, whether you're buying online or at a local coin shop, they'll probably charge you somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4% if you use a credit or debit card. Now, if you're buying locally, just always use cash and you'll never have to pay this fee. If you're buying online, then you could pay with a check or e-check or wire or ACH. There's lots of ways to avoid paying these fees online. I never pay them ever, because it's just less silver you can buy at the end of the day when all of these fees start adding up. Let's get to mistake number 3, which is actually a really big one, but it's fairly easy to avoid if you are aware of it, and it is becoming a target. In other words, you don't want to put yourself out there and let everyone know that you have silver, you have gold at your house, especially where you keep it in your house. Now, this has to do with talking to friends or family about silver. You can do it in vague, generic terms, but don't let them know that you yourself are a heavy stacker and that you have all of this precious metal at your house, which puts a target on your back. And frankly, you may be talking to people who are trustworthy, but they could mention it to one of their friends, etc. And all of a sudden, you have a target on your back. And when it comes to silver, the only way to actually lose your silver is to misplace it or get it stolen. These are really the only risks associated with holding physical silver, so you certainly don't want to put yourself out there. Avoid talking about your personal stack to friends and family as much as you can. Mistake number 4 is no exit strategy. Before you ever buy a single ounce of silver, you should figure out what your exit strategy is going to be, and this will help you to define what you should be stacking. Now, if you're buying all of your silver from a local coin shop, your exit strategy could be to simply take it back to that local coin shop and sell it to them a number of years down the road. Or if you're buying from an online bullion dealer, you can always mail it back to them and sell it to them down the road. However, if you're buying a bunch of random fun collectible pieces of silver and you have no idea how you're going to sell them down the line, you should really think about this, because you're probably going to have to sell them individually. If you pay lots of high premiums on these fun collectibles and then you take them down to a coin shop, you're probably going to get close to spot for every single ounce. Now, if your exit strategy for all of these collectibles is to sell them individually on eBay, this can be okay. However, for most people, understand it will be a hassle. If you've never sold on eBay before, there's eBay fees, PayPal fees, shipping to consider. Also, it could take a long time to sell every single ounce, so keep that in mind as well. If you need to get rid of your silver quickly, you're not going to be able to do that if you have a bunch of random silver collectibles. So when you're stacking, it's really smart to buy bullion. Try to buy the low premium bullion, silver rounds, silver coins, silver bars, because these are going to be much more liquid and much easier to get rid of in the future if you ever need to. Now, the 5th and final mistake when it comes to silver stacking is not starting sooner. Obviously, if you're already stacking now, well, you've started and your start point is set in stone, right? But if you haven't started yet and you're waiting for the price to fall before you start buying silver, just know that we may be at the bottom. No one has a crystal ball. No one can predict exactly where silver price is going to go from here. So I think it's a big mistake to wait on the sidelines and try to time it. Like I mentioned at the start, my strategy is just to dollar cost average. So start buying now, and over the course of the next few years, you will have an average price you paid for your silver. And if we do hit the bottom during that period, well, you're going to have bought some silver at the bottom. So I would say most people's biggest regret when it comes to stacking is not starting sooner. I mean, hey, back in the 90s, you could have got silver for just a few dollars an ounce. That's not the case anymore. And I think when we look at $20-ish silver in the future, we're going to say, wow, that was cheap. I wish I had bought more back then. All right, now as promised, I want to show off this little silver rune from the Germanium Mint. And if you don't know about these yet, it actually has a really cool feature that not a lot of pieces of silver have. So as you can see, it looks like a little cast piece of silver. It's got this symbol on the front. There is some writing on the back as well, but I want to show you the COA here because this is pretty interesting. They call it a cast rune, and I have no idea how to say this word. It's like algiz. I probably butchered that, but the year is 2023. It is 4 nines fine silver, 1 ounce, and check out the finishing: antique finish and UV effect plus numbering. You can see I got number 249 out of 2,500 pieces. So what is this UV effect? Well, they gave me this cool little flashlight thing. I guess it's a UV light. And look at what happens when we put it on the silver. Wow. Check that out. It almost looks like it's on fire or glowing or something. This is such a cool piece. They have done this before on some of their other Germania Beasts releases in the past, and maybe a few other ones. Anyway, I think these are pretty cool pieces of silver. Obviously, the premium is going to be higher on this than just on regular bullion. So I would only buy these for fun, or maybe if you want to carry one around with you to help remind you to stack and not waste your money on other stuff or something like that. But anyway, I do want to know down below in the comment section, what are some other silver stacking mistakes that I missed? Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you all in my next video. Silver Dragons out.